because my parents just got a divorce. And just kidding, I'm an orphan. And yeah, no, both of those are lies. My parents are both alive and still married. And since I was young, I've always wanted my parents' approval, for them to agree with the choices I've made in my life. So I was really glad to find out that they also gave up on me. That was a big relief, big burden off my shoulders. I think I gave up on myself when I realized that I was no longer opening the blinds in the morning. It's not because I was afraid of the sunlight, or I was afraid of the wildlife, or the bird noise, or any of that. It's mostly because I knew I was going to masturbate later, and I was going to be too lazy to actually go and close them. And, turns out I like to masturbate more than I like going to jail, so blinds stay closed in the mornings. Alright, so... But my parents, when I was young, they were very cheap. Right? I had very cheap parents, but they were mean about it. They weren't nice about it. They were very mean about being cheap parents. So whenever I asked for anything nice, they always used to beat me with a stick that they affectionately called the Louis Vuitton. Looking back, it's actually pretty clever, but at the time, I did not like that. But speaking of senseless beatings, have you guys heard about these body cameras they're having cops wear these days? Yeah, I heard about this case in Sweden, where the body cameras actually helped turn the tide on a case, the evidence. And it was a public orgy, right, in Sweden. And but the Swedes are smart, they didn't immediately jump on one side of the bandwagon. They kind of debated both sides of it. And so one side was like, you know what? This is the perfect case example of how these body cameras can be used to, help uphold our justice system that roots our society, right? While the other side said that, the footage from these body cameras was the best porno of the year. Okay, so, how that's great technology though, isn't it? Those body cameras having such a small camera. But they say that, I really love technology, and they say that military technology is 10 years ahead of ours. Right, like whatever the military's got, it's 10 years ahead. That's not fair to me. Like why does some Somali child soldier get to try the iPhone 10 before I do? Right? Come on, where's some fairness in this world? Anyways, I don't mean to offend anyone with that Somali child reference. I took a class about political correctness recently, and at that class, I learned a lot of things. But this one really stood out. Did you guys all know that midgets, dwarves, little people, you guys know those folk? They all actually prefer to be called by their real names? Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. I never knew. Now he's John. Alrighty. So I'm really glad that it's nice out again, because I love to play golf. Are there any golf fans here? Just me? Okay. I love to play golf because I feel like as a man, the goals of golf are a lot like the goals of life. So as a man, the goals of golf are a lot like the goals of life. I mean, first of all, you're trying to get a white thing in a hole with a stick, right? Sign number one. Secondly, if you do it by yourself, your score doesn't count, right? And third, if you're rich, you can do it in more often and way nicer equipment. Right? Anyways. So it's not that I don't believe in God. It's more that, there's a lot of things about the Bible that I find a little bit unbelievable, And here's one that no one ever points out when they're pointing out weird things about the Bible, right? So when God first went to Adam, he took one of Adam's ribs and he turned into Eve, a woman, right? The most beautiful thing in the world. Adam didn't immediately just go, hey God, I got like 10 more ribs, can we make a deal here? And then the next day, Eve found out Adam was cheating because he was slumped over, missing 4 ribs, but a huge smile on his face. Anyways. Alright, that's all the time I have, guys. My name's Michael.